that I have needed, and I'm sure that we all need at times. Like I mentioned in the prayer earlier, this world can be a dark, lonely place. For whatever reason, it could be something going on in your family, it can be fighting, you name it. This world can bring gloom and doom into your life if you let it. The key that I keep reminding myself, and it keeps going through my mind, and hopefully I can come up with a sermon or a sermon series on it, is if you put on a coat, that doesn't change the weather outside. Amen. When it's cold and rainy and dark, when you put on that coat, that comforts you, but it's still cold, lonely, and dark outside. Yep. That has meant a lot to me in the last few weeks. And I felt compelled to share it. So when that dark, lonely, gloomy place starts to creep in, what did you put on that coat? You got some more saying?
You took his message. No.
Yeah. Whatever I can do to get I've done my job.
You got it started.
Check it out.
People that don't know Norman, I think they're brothers. I'll be a lot of places, and they say, I saw your brother. And I said, my brother's in Burgo. No, your other brother. The older one, a little bit shorter.
With a nice haircut.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yesterday was my younger brother's birthday. I'm not going to say my little brother because he's not. It was my younger brother's birthday. He was 63 yesterday, so we went netting that time. At Country Square last night at 7 o'clock, they were busier than I've ever seen. They were really busy. And he brought his next door neighbor and his wife with him. And I had met them before when I'd been there helping cook a pig for them, but I couldn't place them. And this guy's wife looks like a valley girl, you know, tan, blonde hair, just grew up at Kitty Hawk, you know, kind of. But I couldn't place her, but the more she talked, the more Jesus came through her. And she was telling us about the church that they go to and how it's just meant so much to her. And she is one of the leaders in a ministry for special needs kids. Wow. And how much that means to her. It was just, by the time we left, Rosemary was trying to set up one of her sisters with, you know, our son. You know, it was.
I'm on a mission to find husband and wife.
Yeah. It was so not what you expected. It's just really cool. Just really cool. A lot of times, if I get caught up, I'll get on Zillow. And I'll look at real estate, and I'll look at real estate in Brunswick County, particularly Calabash. If you've never been to Calabash, there's a sign there that says seafood capital of the world. It really isn't the seafood capital of the world, but there's probably more restaurants per capita there than any place else in the world. My daddy grew up not far from there, at Hickman's Crossroads, not far from Calabash at all. So I always felt that I had a connection to Calabash. My Aunt Lizzie, whom my Lizzie was named after, lived in Calabash. And all of her children, my first cousins, and we were just especially close. Just loved them to death. So I always had an affinity, I was drawn to Calabash. In my mind, my perfect life would be having a small home on the Calabash River with a deck so I could sit on that deck and watch the shrimp boats come in and out. To me, that would be the perfect. I have not conveyed that perfection to Rosemary. I try, but I have not conveyed that to her. And she is, Rosemary is so practical, it's hard for me to argue with her. I just put my tail between my legs and walk off because she's always right. She's so practical. And she has convinced me that Calabash is not heaven. Calabash is not even heaven. And she is exactly right. I think I'm drawn to it because of the memories of my parents, not anything particularly I've done. Most of you remember my mother as a sweet little old lady that knew the Bible, loved on you. She was not always that way.
I do not believe you carry these.
During World War II, my mother had some half brothers and sisters and then full brothers and sisters. Her older siblings were half brothers and sisters, and she had an older brother named Jim, who was about 15 years older than she was, and as was many of the characters in my family, they were characters. He was a character. During World War II, he lived at Myrtle Beach and Little River and had a grocery store and a liquor store. He owned a sewing factory. He had a lot of stuff going on during World War II and a lot of stuff on the black market he would buy and sell and people not know about it. And during the summertime, my mama would go stay with Jim. Loved Jim. And he loved her. So if you can imagine a sassy young teenager living at the Myrtle Beach with no parents there, her older brother that thought the sun shone in her, let her run wild at Myrtle Beach, she was hard to handle. My daddy said she invented hot pants. I don't know that. But that's what he said. She was
Not believe.
she was hard to handle, and her stories and my daddy's stories of Calabash just put that seed in me that I wanted to be there. I wanted to be a part of Calabash. Though almost everybody I know there has died, I still have that vision of sitting on the deck watching the shrimp boats come in and out. But practicality kicks in. And I realized Calabash hit heaven. And I was reading, I'm almost through reading the Bible. I try to read the Bible through every year. And I've got just a little bit more, but when I got to this description right here in Revelation, this was a physical description of what the new heaven's going to be. Its walls were broad and high, and 12 gates guarded by 12 angels, and the name of the 12 tribes of Israel were written on the gates. The angel who talked to me held his hand a gold measuring stick, and he measured the city. The wall was made of jasper, and the city was pure gold, clear as glass. The wall of the city was built on a foundation of stones inlaid with 12 gems. The physical heaven is going to be something to see. The physical heaven. But like Calabash, I guess, the reason I want to go to heaven is not because of what it's going to look like. It's not because of what it is. It's because of who's going to be there. And I wrote down some folks that I thought might be there. And I wrote this at the very end. You know, there's gonna be people in heaven we didn't think would be there. And I was thinking to myself, when I get to heaven, what are people gonna say to me when I get to heaven? And I can imagine some of them, when they see me, they're gonna say, wow. Good for you, buddy. And I think my friends, you know, that have died and passed on, but I think they'll be telling me about how perfect the golf courses are in heaven. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking I'll see angels there, and I'll see saints there, and I'll see prophets of old there, and I'll see family there. And I'll see my mama and my daddy, and they'll tell me, son, I'm glad you're here.
Yes.
And I'll see my son, and he'll say, I told you I'd be here.
Hallelujah.
When he was in college, I'd meet him for lunch a lot. And he'd always beat me to whatever restaurant we were working at. The first thing he'd tell me is, I told you I'd be here. I told you I'd be here. And I imagine that's what Jesus will tell me. Son, I told you I'd be here. And I'm glad you're here. And that's the reason I want to be there. I want to see the one who's made it possible for me to be there. I want to see the one that's taken my place. Because like my mama, when she was a teenager, I have not been perfect.
Amen. None of us has.
But Jesus took all that away when the Father looks at him. I am so happy that when I get there, he's going to say, son, I'm glad you're here. I encourage you to be there. Invitations are pretty powerful things, and he's invited us to be there. I went to a meeting this week that I would not have gone to had I not received an invitation to go. Many times during the Gospels, Jesus has invited us to be with him. Let me reinforce that invitation. Be with him. Fellowship with him. It'll be heaven. Amen. Miss Glenn, you got something else to say?